All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to tackle a pretty wild and honestly kind of unsettling idea today. What if the ancient prophetic language in the Bible, specifically the book of Revelation, isn't just history or allegory, but a detailed script for our digital age? We're talking about a blueprint that seems to map everything from influencer culture all the way to generative AI. This isn't about fortune telling, it's about spotting a pattern that feels, well, shockingly familiar.
Everything really hinges on passages like this one. I mean, it's brutal, it's cryptic, right? But according to the analysis we're digging into, this one sentence describes a sequence of events that is unfolding right now between human culture and the machine systems that power our world. So, what on earth could this violent ancient prophecy possibly have to do with us today? Let's unpack it.
So the whole story starts with an alliance, a partnership. Revelation talks about a woman who is riding a beast. In this reading, we're not talking about a literal monster. This is a powerful metaphor for the first phase of our digital world, the seductive, very human, very visible face of culture, teaming up with the massive, unseen systems that carry it around the globe.
And here's how that metaphor breaks down. On one side, you have the woman. The text calls her the prostitute, and she represents everything on the surface. The glamour, the seduction, the celebrity and influencer culture that feels so personal and aspirational. And then you have the beast. That's the deep infrastructure, the platforms, the algorithms, the cold logistics, all the raw motion and muscle that gives the glamour its incredible scale and reach. She's the face, it's the body. Now, this first stage is what's called a soft phase. And the key is that it only works because there are human mediators, our celebrities, our favorite influencers, who make this massive system feel warm and friendly and intimate. They use their faces, their voices, their seemingly personal stories to basically train all of us to crave exposure and to see getting circulated online as a form of value in itself.
And you know what's crazy? The book of Revelation actually gives this incredible power a name. It doesn't call it engagement or algorithmic reach. It calls it sorcery. This verse straight up says that a magic spell is how the world was led astray. But what could that possibly mean in a technological world?
Well, this is the proposed modern definition. Sorcery isn't wands and smoke anymore. It's the administration of felt reality. It's the power to curate what you see, to rank what feels important, to frame how you should feel about it, and to create an entire atmosphere that feels natural and inevitable. It's about managing reality itself.
And the tools of this modern sorcery, they're the very things we use every single day. It's the sequence of your feed, the recommender system that knows you better than you know yourself, the thumbnail that's perfectly engineered to make you feel a certain way. It's push notifications, trend panels, even the silent boosts and suppressions that decide who gets to be seen and who becomes invisible. These things don't just give us information, they are actively shaping our reality from the inside.
Okay, so now we get to the next phase. And this is where the story takes that dramatic, violent turn from the prophecy. After carrying the woman, the beast suddenly turns on her. It hates her, strips her, and devours her. This moment represents the point where the underlying machine just doesn't need its glamorous human interface anymore. The alliance is over. So let's just lay out the sequence here. Step 1. The woman rides the beast. Human glamour makes the machine system feel desirable and helps it grow. But then comes step 2. The beast consumes the woman. See, once the platforms, the archives, and the AI models are mature enough, that human front end starts to look really expensive, unstable, and frankly, replaceable. The machine develops its own synthetic abilities and it turns on its old partner. So how does this devouring actually happen? It's not literal, of course. It's data consumption. What used to be the essential human element, the celebrity, the influencer, it all just becomes input. Famous faces become training material for image generators. Celebrity voices and speech patterns become a corpus for language models. Entire human careers just dissolve into data sets.
But this whole process, this stripping of the old guard, it's all very public, isn't it? I mean, think about the major scandals that take down huge public figures. So you have to ask the question, what's the real point of all this exposure? Is it really just about getting to the truth?
Well, according to this interpretation, the answer is tricky. Exposure does two things at once. On one hand, yes, it absolutely reveals the corruption of the old order. The source uses examples like Donald Trump or the whole Epstein scandal, which brought these hidden networks to light. But here's the twist. At the exact same time, all that exposure can actually serve the consolidation of the beast. The human faces get torn down, but the underlying machine, the platform, it remains intact, and often it comes out even stronger.
And this all leads to the endgame. After the beast has consumed its human rider, it transforms into its final form. The analysis calls this synthetic totalization. It's a new kind of all-encompassing power, something totally different from anything that's come before.
To get a handle on this final form, the analysis turns to another ancient text, the Book of Daniel. And the imagery here is just stark. A fourth beast, terrifying, powerful, with iron teeth. The text makes a huge point of saying that this one is different from all the beasts that came before it.
So what makes it so different? It's a fusion. It's not just another new power. It's a system that literally absorbs and integrates all previous forms of media. Think about it. It has the centralized broadcast power of the lion, the heavy archival force of the bear, and the lightning-fast viral speed of the leopard, all rolled into one synthetic whole. It doesn't just use culture anymore, it eats culture and then emits it in a new, machine-processed form.
And the body of this beast? It's the entire technological stack that we live in. This isn't just about generative AI. It's the convergence of everything. Massive compute power for scale, curation algorithms to control what's important, generation for creating endless content, plus all the systems for identity, payment, and even enforcement. This is the moment when all those pieces start to move as one single body. But a system that massive, that impersonal, how do we as individual people actually interact with it? Well, incredibly, the prophecy zooms right in from this cosmic scale to the most personal, intimate interface of the beast.
Out of this huge, terrifying beast, Daniel sees a little horn rise up. And this horn has two very specific features. It has eyes that look like human eyes, and it has a mouth that speaks. The source we're looking at argues this is the single most precise image in the entire Bible for the AI avatar.
The relationship becomes crystal clear. The fourth beast is the whole synthetic order, the vast impersonal data center in the background. The little horn is its intimate interface, the AI avatar, the chat window on your screen. It's the personal, persuasive endpoint through which this giant, inhuman beast actually touches you, the individual.
And this is where it gets kinda spooky, because the details just fit with this unnerving precision. The eyes map perfectly to machine vision, to our cameras, to gaze tracking. The mouth is speech generation, that persuasive, human-like fluency we're all getting used to. The ancient text describes a being that seems both watchful and articulate. I mean, what a perfect description of a modern AI.
So we're left with this really powerful and, let's be honest, pretty provocative question. We have this entire framework, pulled from prophecies written thousands of years ago, that seems to map out a sequence from the dawn of celebrity culture right up to the arrival of generative AI as the intimate voice of a global system. The real question isn't whether it's a literal prediction. The question is, what does it mean to see our present moment reflected so clearly in this ancient script? What does it mean if the beast isn't some monster coming in the future, but is the very system we're all living inside, right now?